Okay, I think we'll just go ahead and get started. For practice today, we're just going to be working deeply into the side body, primarily, opening up through the space along our right and left side bodies to the torso, some twisting as well. And for the heart space intention, what I've been thinking about this week is how so much of our insight and understanding happens in hindsight after we've walked through something, after we've moved through something. And therefore trusting in the process while we're in it, trusting that even if we're moving through a really challenging and difficult time, that we are moving towards deeper understanding, and that oftentimes that roadblock or whatever uphill journey we're on is a necessary part of the understanding that we're receiving and that we will receive as we continue forward and through. And also with yoga, it's like, I know for me, certain shapes in my body, there were shapes, so I thought, oh, I'll never do that. And then sure enough, a year or so down the road, I'm able to move into this shape that I didn't ever think was possible. And I don't know when that happened, right? The shifts and changes and growth that we move through both on and off of our mat is often really subtle and slow and hard to detect until one moment all of a sudden we're capable of something that we didn't realize we were capable of in our bodies or our hearts. And so trusting in that process and trusting that the growth might be very subtle and hard to detect, that it's happening in the background, and that we're exactly where we're meant to be in this moment, moving in the direction that we're meant to be moving in. And so with that, we're just going to start off with some breath. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat, or if you want to start in Shavasana, where we're going to begin in a moment, you can start there. Just take a moment to close your eyes as you start to settle in. Give yourself some time to be really picky with how you land so that you feel comfortable. Either your sits bones on the earth or your spine calibrating to the ground. As your eyes drop shut, your shoulders settle into your torso. Go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose. And when you're ready, an open mouth exhale to release. And just one more like that, a deep breath in through your nose. And a cleansing exhale to let go. And sealing your lips, allow your breath to travel through your nose. I try to continue to deepen each breath, to lengthen each exhale. Find the expansiveness within your breath. Even that space between when we first arrive to our yoga practice and our mind is very busy. That time when we start to find ourselves, or all of a sudden find ourselves in the flow. The mind is clear and we are present. If that shift happens largely out of our awareness. So trusting if the mind is busy in this moment, there's a lot of clutter and a lot of thought moving about. And if we continue to focus on the breath and continue to bring ourselves back to this moment, and over time, we'll find that we are present. We are connected to this moment here and now, to the awareness of our bodies, the awareness of our practice. And continuing to expand every inhale and extend every exhale. Let's take this last moment to set an intention for your own practice. So setting a heart space intention that aligns with what you need today something that resonates in your body and your heart. It's taking a moment to bring that to the forefront, to allow that intention to step forward. Maybe it's just a single word, or maybe it's something that you hope to receive from practice today. Maybe it's something that you want guidance in, or something that you could use support in. So allowing this practice to be not just about the time that you're on your yoga mat, but that support that it can provide when you step off your mat as well. And holding that intention right at your heart, go ahead and take another big breath in through your nose. And a clearing exhale to let go. And one more time here, deep breath in through your nose. And cleansing exhale all the way to empty. And as you're ready, take your time to find your way to your back body. It's making your way into a full body stretch eventually. You might keep your eyes closed or your gaze soft as you transition. As you start to lengthen out across the earth, spread your fingers, spread your toes. Take a couple circles through your ankles and your wrists. Already feeling extra space move into your side bodies as you breathe in. With exhale, start to bring your knees into your chest. Take a little rock from side to side. And then interlace your hands onto your right shin. Extend your left leg out across the earth so you're in wind removing pose. As you pull your right thigh in nice and close, start to engage your belly just a little bit. So there's this support at your center. And then keep your wind removing pose shape, but release your hands. Just use the strength of your body to pull your right thigh in nice and close. And breathe into that, breathing into your low back that's receiving length and strength along your front body. And you'll exhale to your supine twist. Right knee's gonna tip across you towards the left. Your right shoulder get heavy towards the earth, and then breathe along your right side body. Just take one more slow cycle of breath right here. And then as you roll onto your back body again, keep your right knee bent, place your right foot to the earth and use your right foot to square your hips. And then lift your left leg up to the sky for your hamstring stretch. You're gonna reach around your left leg. You're gonna have softness through your knee here, and then point, flex, and circle out through your left ankle. And if you want to, you can even reach your right leg long if you want a little bit more intensity to your hamstring stretch. And then take a big breath in here. On your exhale, we're gonna find Gomukhasana legs. You're gonna stack your left thigh on top of your right like eagle legs, but instead of crossing at your shins or hugging your shins together, split your shins wide and reach down for opposite feet. So your right hand will grab your left foot, your left hand grabs your right foot. You can also reach for your ankles if your feet are a little bit far away and if this feels a little bit sticky this morning. If you don't like Gomukhasana legs, feel free to go to figure 4 with your left ankle on your right thigh. Then flexing through your ankles, heels lift away from your hips, take a little rock from side to side. Whether you're in Gomukhasana legs or figure 4 legs, think about reaching your sits bones forward towards the front of your yoga mat. Just take one big breath in. And on your exhale, you're going to keep your left thigh stacked on top of your right. Find eagle legs now. So zip your shins up together. Left thigh slides all the way over your right. Shins hug to the center line. So you're in this kind of like eagle leg tabletop situation. And then eagle wrap your left arm underneath your right for eagle arms. Or if you don't like the eagle arms this early in your practice, you can also take your hands behind your head, elbows wide for the core connection. Now on your breath in, you're going to slowly start to bring your right big toe towards a hover above the earth. If you have the eagle arms, reach your hands a little bit overhead. On your exhale, draw everything up and into center. Lift your head, your shoulders, maybe even lift your hips off the earth a little bit. So a little eagle crunch. And then inhale, open back up, expand. And same thing, exhale, curl, contract, shoulders lift, hips lift, squeeze your thighs to center. The last three, inhale, open. And your exhale, contract. And inhale, slowly expand. And exhale, draw up and in. And then last one, breathe in, open up. And exhale, draw everything towards center. And a little hang time at the top. And as you unravel, when you're moving pose, second side, bring your left knee to your left shoulder, let your right leg reach long. And start by using your hands to bring your left thigh in close. And then you can either continue to use your hands or maybe start to find that little bit of engagement at your center and use your core and strength of your body to keep your left thigh hugged into your torso. Sometimes that helps release the low back a little bit more. And then breathe into your low back. And as you exhale, supine twist, left knee is going to tip over to the right. As you settle into your twist, take 3 slow breaths. One more breath in. And be really patient as that exhale empties all the way out. And then just like we did before, as we unwind through center, we're headed to that hamstring stretch. So you can use your left foot on the earth to square your hips. Reach your right leg up to the sky. And then as you reach around your right leg, you can point, flex, and circle through your ankle. And then your left leg can stay bent, or you can start to lengthen your left leg out across the earth. And just take one more breath here. Headed to either Gomukhasana legs or figure 4. It's going to be either right thigh on top of left or right ankle on top of left. For Gomukhasana, reaching down for opposite feet or ankles. Figure 4, you can thread the needle if you want. And then trying to maintain the length in both of your side bodies here. Flex your feet and feel your heels lift up and away from your hips a little bit. Maybe rock from side to side. And one last breath here, opening through the hips. And then we're gonna move into that core connection second side, so that eagle crunch movement. We're gonna have our right thigh eagle wrapped over our left. So as you start to release from your figure 4 Gomukhasana, right thigh on left, and then zip your shins up together, squeezing your inner thighs and shins to the midline. Your arms are going to be right arm underneath your left or hands behind your head, elbows wide. And then on your in-breath, start to open up, creating space between elbows and knees. Maybe your left big toe hovers above the earth. And on your exhale, draw everything up and in. Lift your head, your shoulders, maybe your hips. And then slow motion, inhale, start to open up using your core to create this movement. And exhale, draw up and in. Navel to spine, last 3 here. Inhale, open. And then exhale to contract. And inhale, slow to open. And exhale from your muscles, lift up, no momentum, hips high, heart high. Last one, breathe in, open. And then exhale, contract, curl up and in, lift, lift, lift. Find that little hang time at the top. And then release and relax, unwind everything. Knees to chest and be a modified happy baby as you inhale. And then an open mouth exhale, let it go. And start to find your way up to your tabletop pose. So however you want to make your way up to all fours. You're going to bring your shoulders right over your wrists, hips right over your knees, and go ahead and find your way into a cow shape when you're ready. So with a big breath in, lift your heart, lift your tailbone to the sky. And then on your exhale, you're going to start to find your cat pose, rounding your spine when you're ready. Just taking a couple more rounds on your own breath pace. So as your inhale moves through, start to find your cow shape, lift your heart, lift your tail. And whenever your exhale starts to exit your lunge, you're gonna round your spine to your cat pose. Really tuck your chin. Then one more time, follow your inhale to your cow shape, lift and open. And then exhale guides you to your cat pose, round your spine as you tuck your chin. Imagine the crown of your head and your tailbone could touch each other. So curling all the way up, and then start to find your way back to neutral. Go ahead and tuck your toes underneath, and then hover your knees just above the earth into your hovering tabletop pose. Starting to let the center a little bit more, root through your hands. And as you push through your hands and push through your toes, can you feel your navel lock up and in towards your spine? Take a nice slow breath in. And exhale, downward facing dog. Begin to send your hips up and back. And then just take a moment here. Maybe paddle out through your feet if that would feel good. And relax your head. And find a little bit of external rotation through your upper arm bones. So as you root through your hands, think about spiraling your biceps towards the midline and then forward towards the top of your yoga mat. And then from here, we're going to walk forward into our forward fold, Uttanasana. Let your knees bend as you arrive. Heavy through your head, sway a little bit forward and back. As you sway forward and back, you're just searching for that sweet spot to pause in. Eventually allowing yourself to settle into stillness. Take one slow breath. On your next inhale, begin to lift up halfway, lengthen out through your spine, feel all that extension from crown to tail, and exhale, forward fold, release. A deep breath in, will rise up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Big breath as you reach high to the sky, and then use your right hand to grab your left wrist and tip over to the right for a side body stretch. So you lean to the right, creating space along your left side body. So you're really heavy and rooted through your left heel. Let your chin lift up your chest a little bit, elbows slide back in space. And then inhale, lengthen through your center line and switch your grip, tipping to the opposite side, lean over to your left. Now for the rootedness of your right foot now, proud and open across your chest. Back of your skull is leaning slightly back as you take one more breath. And we'll inhale up through our center line, Urdhva Hastasana, and exhale, forward fold, soften forward. Then a halfway lift as you breathe in, and then you're gonna cross your left ankle behind your right for a cross-legged forward fold. So left ankle sweeps behind your right. Your pinky toes don't need to line up, and you can bend your knees a lot here. Just folding over your thighs. Take one breath. It's probably pretty sticky. This one tends to be sticky no matter how flexible you are. And then lean into your right foot and take your left foot to the back of your yoga mat so that you're in a low lunge now. Nice long stance. You're gonna hover your left knee above the earth for your cow lunge. Open your heart to your biceps, taking a big breath in. And then exhale to a cat lunge. Lengthen out your legs any amount, creating a hamstring stretch to the backs of your legs. So from here, bend into just your right knee. We're gonna find a twisted low lunge. So left leg stays strong. Twist your right hand to the sky, rolling your left ribs towards your right thigh bone. Inhale up through your right hand, and then as you exhale, bring your right hand down to the earth. High plank pose, right foot meets your left. Take a big step back. Strong with your legs and your center. Take an inhale here. And then exhale here. Okay, next breath in, shift forward. And as you breathe out, this time lower to your belly, slow and strong. Keep your quadriceps active, elbows close as you release to your belly. You'll untuck your toes at the earth, and then inhale, low cobra, lift the back of your heart space. Lengthening to the nape of your neck for that extension across the back of your body. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and just lower right back down to the earth. Head into Gecko Pose next. Take your hands wider than your yoga mat. Tend to your fingertips and think about sliding your elbows forward over your wrists. Pull your shoulders out of your ears. So shoulders slide back, elbows stack over wrists. And then inhale, lift up your heart any amount. On your exhale, dip your left shoulder to the center and look over to the right. Then inhale up to the midline. And exhale, second side, dip your right shoulder and gaze over to the left. And then inhale up through center. On your exhale, pull your heart forward, lower all the way down. Slide your hands back by your low ribs for upward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your heart. And exhale, downward facing dog. Awesome, hips to the sky. From your downward facing dog, use an inhale to lift your heels up. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, step or hop to the top, forward fold. As you find the top of your yoga mat, breathe in to lift up halfway. And exhale, forward fold right back down. Rise all the way to stand, let your inhale lift you up. Good, and on your exhale, keeping your hips really square to the front, open arm twist towards your right. Sweep your right hand back and your left hand forward. Now think about using your core to keep your hip points pointing to the top of your yoga mat, and then using your core to twist your heart to the right. You should feel a lot of effort through your side body here. Now keeping the twist, finding your exalted arms. Inhale, lift your left hand to the sky. Your right hand can go to your low back. And on your exhale, we're gonna start to find the opposite side. Exhale, sweep your left hand back and reach your right hand forward. Open arm twist. And again, you're working to keep your hips square. This twist is coming from your core strength. When keeping the twist, think about like your exalted crescent lunge. We're gonna inhale, right hand to the sky, left hand towards the low back. You can kind of lift up and over, a little bit of a back bend if you want. And then this time as you exhale, go ahead and start to just release your left hand. Urdhva Hastasana, reach both hands to the sky with your breath in. And forward fold to the earth as you breathe out. The halfway lift, lengthen your spine, and then cross your right ankle behind your left, cross-legged forward fold, second side. Softening over your thighs, let your head hang heavy. Maybe lean a little bit forward and back. Good, and then your left foot is gonna stay forward as your base. Step your right foot to the back of your yoga mat so you find your low lunge. Hover your right knee above the earth, opening your heart forward. Big stretch to the front of your right hip as you inhale. And then extend your legs, cat lunge, hamstring stretch as you exhale. Good, think about untucking your tailbone to the sky, so lifting your tailbone up to the ceiling. And when you bend into your front knee this time, keep your right thigh really strong and twist your left hand to the sky. Think square hips, twisting from your waistline, heart opens up. This time your left hand's gonna come back to the earth for high plank. And as you find your high plank, breathe in to shift forward towards your tippy toes. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way for chaturanga. Open your heart to your up dog or cobra. And when you're ready, downward facing dog, pelvis to the sky. And we're gonna start to kind of build the bigger portion of our flow now. So on your inhale, lift your right leg to the ceiling, find your three-legged dog, but then flex your foot and square your hips. So your right leg might not lift as high, but you're gonna get a bigger stretch to your left hamstring. Now keeping your hips square, bend your right heel to your seat like a little donkey kick hamstring curl. Use your inhale to lift your right knee up towards the ceiling, feel your right glute really strong. On your exhale, you're gonna cross your right knee towards your left tricep as you shift forward. Now keep your left heel high like high plank, keep your whole body like high plank, but reach your right leg through as if you're going to fall in triangle. It's just a half fallen triangle. Flex your right foot, reach your heart forward. Think about squaring your hips down to the earth. So it's like fallen triangle, but the rest of your body's in a plank pose. And then opening up to your fallen triangle, now allow your left heel to spin down and open your left hand up to the sky. Good, on your inhale, reach your left hand overhead towards the top of your yoga mat, finding a big side body stretch. With exhale, three-legged dog, left hand to the earth. Use your core to pull your right leg to the sky, big breath in. Breath out, we'll step your right foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. And go ahead and let your left foot follow chair pose. You sit into your seat, you're gonna lift up to your heart in your hands. And your exhale, just settle into your depth. So allowing your seat to light up, your center to engage. Let your hands go a little bit wider if that's more comfortable for your neck. Take another breath in. With exhale, airplane your arms beside you. Lean into your left foot, and when you're ready, rise up with your right leg, one-legged Tadasana. So we're gonna head right away into some standing balance. Give yourself a moment to calibrate, right leg lifted, left foot on the earth. Big breath in. Exhale, open arm twist to the right, sweep your right hand back, reach your left hand forward, twisting towards your lifted leg. Now imagine a string from your sternum up to the sky, growing a little bit taller through your heart and crown. And then as you inhale, unwind through your center. And exhale, take a long step back to Crescent Lunge. So imagine like you're stepping through airplane pose. High crescent, right toes at the back of your yoga mat. Big breath in to lift through your torso. Left hand grabs your right wrist now and lean over to your left, finding your side bend. Creating length along your right side body. Take a full breath in here. On your exhale, prayer twist, use that space to hook your right elbow towards the outside of your left thigh. Okay. Now left shoulder is leaning slightly back in space. Keep your right leg really active. Think about lifting your right thigh bone up to the sky. Big push through your feet. There's some buoyancy around your hips. On your next breath in, find your high crescent lunge again. Rise all the way up to your center. And on your exhale, goddess your arms, let your elbows open wide. Let your hands then fall down to the earth to frame your left foot. Your right hand's gonna be your base. Turn all 10 toes to the left for horizon lunge. So in this, you're wanting to find the knife edges of both your feet. Think about like a kind of lifted half pigeon pose. Squaring your pelvis towards the long edge of your yoga mat. You can either stay in this horizon lunge, this is a hip stretch for your left hip, or try to find side plank. Maybe step your left foot back to either stack on top of your right foot or to stagger in front of your right foot. Big breath in, left hand reaches overhead, side body stretch. And on your exhale, slow motion, find your high plank pose. Breathe in to shift forward. Vinyasa or a down dog as you breathe out. So you can choose to move through your chaturanga, or you can just go up and back to downward facing dog. Good. In your downward dog, you're gonna inhale your left leg to the sky, three-legged. Now again, flex your foot and square your hip, even if your left leg doesn't lift as high. Keeping that squareness in your pelvis, donkey kick your left heel to your seat, hamstring curl. Breathe your left thigh bone up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, cross your left knee towards your right tricep. Now keep your whole body in plank, except start to extend your left leg through for fallen triangle. Try to lengthen your heart towards the top of your yoga mat. Give it one more moment. Squaring your hips down to the earth, that's going to create a big IT band stretch through your left leg. And then fallen triangle, spin open, right hand to the sky. Strong and active for your right leg. Breathe your right hand overhead for your side body stretch. And then as you exhale, right hand to the earth, three-legged dog. Use your inhale to lift your left leg to the sky. Step your left foot forward to the top of your yoga mat. And then right foot will follow your head to your chair pose. Awesome. Sink into your seat, lift up through your chest, full breath in. Allow your exhale to settle you. And your glutes rooting your heels into the earth for one more breath. And then airplane arms, hands sweep back beside you. Right leg stays on the earth this time. Right leg is your base. You're going to rise up with your left leg to stand. I find it helpful to flex my left foot so there's energy in the lifted leg. Take your inhale. Then open arm twist to your left. Your left hand will reach back. Your right hand reaches forward, rotating your heart to your lifted left thigh. And then again, strengthen your sternum up to the ceiling. Get really proud through your chest. Feel your center activate a little bit more. And then when you're ready to unwind through center, an inhale unwinds you back to one-legged Tadasana. Take a big step back to your high Crescent Lunge. Just slowing down the transition. Left foot to the back of your yoga mat. Big breath in as you rise towards the sky. Use your right hand to grab your left wrist and then lean over to the right for your side body stretch. Putting length and space across your left side. A deep inhale here. Prayer twist as you exhale. Left elbow's gonna hook outside of your right thigh. Keep pushing through your feet so your hips aren't feeling as downward in their energy, as heavy in their energy. Think about buoyancy around your hips. And then lean your right shoulder back, helping to twist your heart more towards your thumbs. Begin to drive down through your feet before you start to go anywhere. And then as you press through your feet, inhale, high crescent, rise all the way up. You're gonna exhale, goddess your arms, and then allow your hands to fall down to frame your right foot. And then from here, we're gonna turn all 10 toes to the right for horizon lunge. So as your toes pivot to the right, reach your right hand to the sky. Sometimes you have to kind of wiggle your right foot back towards your left foot a little bit more. But you're aiming for the outside edges, the knife edges, the pinky edges of your feet. You can stay here for the hip stretch through your right hip, or a side plank that you step your right foot back, cinching up through your left side body. Letting your left side core begin to light up. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, high plank pose, unwind through center. Your inhale shifts you forward, vinyasa or down dog. As you find your downward facing dog, take a big breath in through your nose. And then maybe an open mouth exhale to let it go. We're gonna find one more layer here. On your inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Again, hip is square, leg is long. And then exhale, donkey kick your right heel towards your seat, hamstring curl. Take a breath in, maybe right thigh bone lifts a little bit higher. Exhale, right knee, left tricep cross underneath your body. Falling triangle, option to lift your right leg as you open up. Ah, beautiful. And then when you're ready, reach your left hand overhead for the side body stretch. Into your three-legged dog, right leg to the sky. This time, bend your knee, open your hip. Stay or wild thing, option to step your right toes behind you as you open up. Nice full inhale. On your exhale, we're going to step our right foot to the top of our yoga mat. So looking to the top of your yoga mat, big step forward with your right foot. You can help it there for sure. And then we'll rise to our high crescent lunge this time, all the way up to your high crescent. Nice big breath in. On your exhale, start to find your side body stretch. Right hand grabs the left wrist, lean to the right. You're going to take an inhale to your left side body. Prayer twist, left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. So we've been here before, but this time we're going to look down to the earth in front of our right foot. Begin to lean into your right foot, coming to left tippy toe. Engaging with your belly, driving your right foot into the earth. You're going to find a prayer twisted chair. So you're going to slide or step your left foot to meet your right. Prayer twisted chair. Sinking into your seat. Rotate your heart towards your thumbs. And then chair pose, unwinding from the twist. Take a big breath in. Yeah, good. Exhale, airplane your arms. Left leg is your base. Begin to rise up with your right leg, one-legged Tadasana. Okay, this time we're going to find a figure four right ankle on your left thigh. Let your hands come to heart center as you sink into your one-legged chair. Opening up through your right seat. Take a breath in. And take a breath out. If you'd like a little more balanced challenge, maybe eagle wrap your right arm underneath your left. And then your eagle arms. And always just keep your hands heart or airplane wings. With or without your eagle arms, you're going to rise up just enough to send your right leg back to an airplane pose. So this is airplane or maybe eagle armed airplane for extra challenge. And take a nice full inhale. On your exhale, crescent lunge, release your right toes to the earth. Unwind your arms, circle sweeping them up to the sky, big breath in. And exhale, goddess arms, breath out. Let your hands fall down to frame your left foot. And leaning into your left foot, standing splits this time, reach your right leg to the sky as you inhale. On your exhale, Shiva squat, bend both of your knees, let your seat get low. Find a little bit of a lift of your heart at the bottom. And really drive down with your left heel to re-extend, standing splits, breath in. We'll take it 2 more times. Exhale, Shiva squat. Feel the strength of your left leg, your left glute. And inhale, standing splits. 1 more time, Shiva squat, bend and tap. And then inhale, standing splits. Your next exhale, step your right toes to the back of your yoga mat, low lunge. Right palm to the earth, horizon lunge. Turn all 10 toes to the left, twisting open. Again, your target is like this outer C stretch. This time in your horizon lunge, you're either going to hold or on an inhale, sink your hips towards the earth and reach your left hand towards the back of your yoga mat. And then on your exhale, lift your hips, rainbow your left hand up and overhead. So again, you can hold or 2 more like that. Maybe inhale, dip. This could also be side plank if you don't want to find the movement. Exhale, lift and reach. Left hand overhead. 1 more breath, whatever you want. Sink and reach the back or your side plank or holding and stillness. And this time as you exhale, you're going to lift and unwind to high plank. Left foot meets your right. Breathe in to shift forward. Vinyasa or down dog. Okay. Take a child's pose for a moment, knees to the earth, hips to your heels. We're just going to take a little pause before we finish out second side. Taking a slow breath in through your nose. Maybe an open mouth exhale, letting it go. Maybe 2 more cycles of breath. Be checking back in with your heart space intention. Be reminding yourself that sometimes our progress and growth is subtle and hard to detect in the moment. It's not until we look back to see how far that we've come, we notice that growth and expansion. But trusting in the process, trusting in where you're at. When you're ready, you're going to find your way back to downward facing dog. We'll finish second side and we'll bring it to the earth. So as you lift your hips to downward facing dog, take a big breath through your nose. And open mouth, exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. With square hips on your exhale, donkey kick, hamstring curl, left heel to seat. Take your in-breath. Exhale, left knee, right tricep. As you move to fallen triangle, option to keep your left leg lifted as you open up. Full breath in. Three-legged dog, your exhale brings your right hand to the earth. Inhale to lift your left leg to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip, stay or wild thing with option to step your left toes behind you, opening your heart to the ceiling. Now looking towards the top of your yoga mat, we're gonna go low lunge. Think almost like side plank strength. Take a big step forward with your left foot, you can help it there. Then once you arrive, it's high crescent lunge. Strong feet rise all the way up on your inhale. Left hand grabs the right wrist, lean over to the left as you breathe out, opening through your right side. And then using that space, we're going to find our prayer twist with your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. Now, think about lengthening towards the top of your yoga mat. So imagine a string from your sternum to the top of your yoga mat. And then I like to look down at the earth for stability. So feel free to look down towards the top of your yoga mat. Push into your feet so your hips are a little bit higher. And as you lean into your left foot, coming to right to be top, slide or step to your prayer twisted chair. Think about using the strength of your airplane leg to step your right foot forward. And allow your hips to settle in, maybe you retwist a little bit deeper. And chair pose, inhale, lift through heart and hands. Yes, airplane your arms on your exhale. Right leg stays on the earth, rise up with your left leg as you're ready. One-legged Tadasana, big breath in. Perhaps you find your figure four, left ankle on your right thigh. Sitting into your standing hip opener, your one-legged chair. Taking one more breath just right here. If you want added challenge, maybe eagle wrap your left arm underneath your right. Think shoulders above ears, but elbows moving forward and away, fingers stretching forward and away from your heart. And then with or without your eagle arms, whatever arms you want, we're gonna airplane our left leg back in space. So either traditional airplane or eagle armed airplane, maybe falling over in your airplane if you're me. There we go, take one more big breath. And then slow motion, you're gonna step your left toes to the back of your yoga mat. Unwind your arms, big breath in, circle, sweep your hands to the sky. Yeah, and exhale, goddess to your arms, allowing your hands to fall down to frame your right foot. As you tip into your right leg, we're gonna go standing splits. Lift your left leg towards the ceiling, big breath in. And then Shiva squat, bending through both of your knees. Try that one-legged squat, dip low. And press through your right heel, breathe and lengthen back to standing splits. Two more here, exhale, Shiva squat, strong through your right side. And inhale, standing splits, lengthen. Last time, exhale, Shiva squat. And inhale, standing splits. This time as you breathe out, your left foot's gonna step to the back of your yoga mat. Left palm plants to the earth. Twist your right hand to the sky. Maybe finding horizon lunge. You might wiggle your right foot back a little bit. And then you can stay here. You can find side plank. Or with your inhale, sink through your hips and reach your right hand to the back of your yoga mat. Then on your exhale, lift your hips. Reach your right hand overhead. Good, two more breaths to be in whatever you want to be in. Maybe it's movement. Maybe it's stillness, maybe it's your side plank variation. Last breath here. Meeting in a high plank pose, take your time to find your high plank. Big step back. This time we're gonna inhale forward and exhale lower all the way down to the earth. Once you find your belly, just take a moment and belly down Shavasana. So maybe make a little pillow for your forehead with your hands. Take a slow breath in. And a slow breath out. And then from here, we're gonna find our winged pose. So that shoulder stretch from your belly. So from your belly down Shavasana, reach your left arm out to the side. You want your hand in line with your shoulder. You can also create a goddess arm, but that's gonna be a deeper stretch. So if you need a deeper stretch, goddess your arm. Otherwise, just a left hand reaching out in line with your left shoulder. You're gonna look over to the right and gecko your right arm to the earth. Just like the gecko pose we did earlier. Then use your right hand to help push you. Take your right toes behind you like a wild thing. And so you're creating this big stretch through your left shoulder. Gently press down with your left palm. Let your head rest to the earth as your right shoulder leans back, your collarbones open. Chin off chest. Take another breath here. And then you're gonna roll onto your belly slowly and just go into second side. Reach your right arm out to the right or goddess your right arm. As you look to the left, you're gonna gecko your left fingertips to the earth. And use your left fingertips to help kickstand your left toes behind you. Feel like wild thing on your belly. Creating a shoulder stretch to your right side. Gently root your right palm into the earth. Your collarbones open up across your chest. Good, and then from here, go ahead and release back to center, take your time. And then hands by your low ribs, inhale through a high cobra. And then to child's pose, use your exhale, your core to draw your hips to your heels, lengthen out. From your child's pose, just roll up your spine to a seat on your heels, so rolling up, head is last to lift. And then bring your legs out in front of you and scooch to the top of your yoga mat. So just find a seat at the top of your mat so you have room to lean back into. Go ahead and send your legs out long. You can have a little softness in your knees if you would like. And then bend at your left knee and step your left foot over your right leg. And then try to lean forward to the front of your sits bones. You're gonna flex your right toes to the sky. Reach your right hand to the sky, big breath in. And then twist, hooking your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh. And turn your heart to the left. You can also use your right arm to pull your left thigh in close. So wrapping around your left thigh, that'll give you sometimes more of a glute stretch through your left thigh and hip. And if you wanted to, you could also bend your right heel to your seat. That's gonna be a little bit of a hip stretch through the right side. Take one more breath here, inhaling to lift and lengthen. Following your exhale to twist. And then just slowly unwinding through center in your torso. If you bent your right heel in towards your seat, go ahead and just reach your right leg out long. Reach your left leg out long. Kind of shake it out if you want to. And then adjusting your seat, you're gonna bend right knee in for second side. Step your right foot over your left. Lengthen your left arm up to the ceiling. Yep, and then finding your twist, left elbow is going to go towards the outside of your right thigh. Or again, you can wrap your arm around your leg. Sometimes that gives us that right seat stretch, right glute stretch. It's up to you. Your right fingertips can help lengthen your heart towards the sky. And also, if you wanted to bend your left heel in, you can bend your left heel in. We breathe in, lift up. Exhale, twist. One last breath here. And taking your time to unwind. Unwind your legs, sending both legs long. Reach up high on your inhale. And find your forward fold as you exhale. Uttanasana, just your traditional forward fold. Just going to be here for 3 cycles of breath. You want to stay longer in your forward fold, feel free to stay longer. Otherwise, you'll breathe in, rise up, reach up. And on your exhale, slow and controlled, lower all the way to your back body, using your core to find your way into a full body stretch. And once you find your way to your back body, into that full body stretch, take a really big breath in through your nose. Maybe an open mouth exhale, letting go. And then draw your knees into your chest and find your way into happy baby pose. So any version of happy baby that you want. Sometimes it's nice to find happy baby and then use your hands to bring the ball mounds of your feet together and letting your knees fall wide. It's like a happy baby butterfly hybrid. And your feet don't even have to touch with that, but your hands are guiding your feet towards each other. Your knees spread open like butterfly wings. Then for whatever version of happy baby you're in, whether you're in movement or stillness, knees are bent or long, we're gonna find our way into a plow pose or any other inversion. So you can take legs up to the sky, you can take legs up the wall, you can go shoulder stand or bridge pose. You can also stay in your happy baby, but for your plow pose, using your triceps on the earth to help boost your hips all the way up and over your shoulders. Take your toes overhead. Bring that big stretch to the back of your body. Sits bones lift to the sky. Again, feel free to go to whatever inversion you want. We're just going to be here about 3 to 5 breaths. You can always take multiple inversions if you want to explore ear pinning pose or shoulder stand. And when you are ready to release out, you're going to take your time and use your core to eventually bring your hips back to the earth. Letting your knees fall into your chest, maybe circling your knees in both directions a couple times. And then whenever you're ready, just pulling your thighs in close, curl your nose up to your knees, take a big, big breath in. And on your exhale, go ahead and release out to Shavasana when you're ready. Allowing your arms and legs to go long. Settling into the support of the earth for these last few minutes of your practice. As you settle in, just allowing your eyes to close. Letting your hips become heavy. Letting your shoulders become heavy. Letting your arms and legs become heavy. And allowing the weight of your skull to sink into the earth. As the earth holds the weight of your skull, allowing any tension in your mind to begin to dissipate. Allowing the support of the earth to give you permission to release away any unnecessary tension, any unnecessary effort, any unnecessary holding or clenching within the body. Just taking this last minute to check back in. Check in with your body and your heart and your mind. Check in with your intention. Maybe even set a new intention you can take with you off into your day and maybe the rest of your week. Maybe deepening your breath, starting to expand. Each inhale again. Extend each exhale again. Noticing any shifts and changes that have taken place over the course of your practice. It's feeling those shifts as a reminder of all the change, all the growth that can happen just in 60 minutes. And when you're ready, if you want to bring some movement back into your body, maybe your fingers and toes, ankles and wrists start to reawaken first. And then perhaps an inhale reaches your hands overhead to your full body stretch. And as you exhale, just let your hands arrive at your heart. A seat of love and compassion within our bodies. We take this last pause as an opportunity to recognize the time and intention that you devoted to your practice. We also pause to acknowledge the ancient roots of the practice itself. This practice that continues to serve and support us each and every day. Thank you so much for joining, for being here, for showing up. Let's take one more deep breath in through your nose. And one more cleansing exhale, let it go. May yoga offer us a path to compassion. And may our practices serve as our teachers, our guides, and living more authentically and loving more deeply each and every day. Thank you so much. Again, and namaste.